So welcome aboard, Monica. It's great to have you here. And
Hello, Nidhi.
your transition into what you're doing now, and it's a huge shift from chemistry into Vedic studies and Vedic literature. I'd like you to talk to us about how this transition came about.
The COVID time was a time for very intense transition for me. Like your normal routine was put to a full stop and you were sitting home. And at that time, what happened was my brother-in-law, Colonel Vikas Prabhakar, and my husband is very passionate about astrology. They used to, visiting the pundits here and there. My brother-in-law, he always used to say that you should learn astrology yourself.
To
Because
you.
why should I learn? Why should I learn? You have a very, very logical mind. So you should learn, and I believe that you are going to learn. You can do it. I used to say, but yeah, I don't believe in it. There is no the point studying it. And when it was COVID, and when we were actually not doing anything, no work, so Bhaiya used to, he started sending me some notes about astrology on the WhatsApp. Like, just go through these notes. And as a mark of respect, obviously, I cannot ignore his messages. So I started, seeing all the messages, started reading everything, and suddenly I realized in 3 4 days that things were making sense. So that logical mind was, maybe it was
At play.
working. Yeah, actually. One fine day, I was ready with my, copy and pencil. I was just writing down things. Okay, things are happening like this. And the journey was on, completely on, with full energy. Means I was getting into it, and it became a complete passion. And it was like day and night. I was reading stuff, I was doing astrology. In the evening, when I used to go out for my walks, I was thinking about astrology. I was thinking about the stars, everything. I mean, it was completely, I was that immersed in that ocean of astrology, you can say that, for a period of 1 or 2 years. And then, like, again, that is logical. You can say that I need to have a proof of everything. So when I started studying, and the first thing that you do is that you study yourself. You study your own horoscope. And when I'm studying my horoscope, each and every moment in my life, every period of my life was matching the position of the stars. And the most important thing was that this period that started in 2020, when I was into astrology, this period was a period, according to astrology, this was a period that was very, very strong for this occult knowledge.
For you or for the
For
world?
me, for me, it was. My stars were such that I would be aligned to this occult knowledge. And it was happening. So that was a clear, absolute clear proof. And I was completely fascinated. And means my logical mind was actually getting proofs. And when I started studying all this, the position of the stars, the planets, sun, moon, I started noticing the position of the moon every night. I started noticing the position of the sun. And then I also went to, and which tithi is it today? All this was new, but it was very fascinating. And when I started doing this, these were the questions in my mind. Like, that means this astrology, they say, is as old as the earth. Means nobody knows its origin. When obviously when the stars were created, only that time the astrology was also came in. So I was thinking that that means our rishis who have written all this, they knew everything. They knew the real science. That means we know a lot. And our scriptures hold a lot. Then things kept up coming up, all the laws and the chemistries, electrochemistry that I was teaching in college. I was teaching light, the studies about study the, what do you call it, the calorimetry studies. All this I was saying, everything was matching with something that we already knew. And then, that search starts up. And I was getting answers to all the modern laws of chemistry, physics, or maths. I was getting its roots in our ancient scriptures. So I was so surprised. I was so fascinated. I was so passionate about it. I wanted everybody to know. There was one person who was very interested, and she was Professor Anupama Sharma. She is my guide. She's my mentor. She is my friend also, and she is chairperson, UICET, University Institute of Chemical Engineering and Technology, Punjab University. And I used to talk about all this stuff to her. I got a very good listener. And the journey went on. And one fine day, I got a call from her where she was in some kind of meeting regarding the new education policy. And under this new education policy, our government is very actually serious about bringing the Vedic knowledge to the forefront.
About time.
Yes, she was said that can we introduce some kind of this course in our department? Can you design a course for us? I was absolutely surprised, and that was all. The topic Vedas as the origin of technology. Just have 1 week for that. Just design the course and we'll do it. And that was it. So I was into it, getting all things ready, and I designed the whole syllabus. It was approved by the university and it was launched at our chemical engineering department, Punjab University. And now it is running as a full 2 credit course, so also open to the whole of the university.
Okay.
And I am feeling so blessed. I'm feeling so happy to teach this Vedic course all about Vedas, all about science and technology to the young students. I think I am making some contribution from my side to the society in that way.
No doubt, no doubt. You know, what you're telling me is reminds me of this story that I read about Richard Branson, who's the owner of Virgin Airlines. And in his story, somewhere it is mentioned that he jumps up and says yes to things. You know how on an everyday, on a real-time basis, we are taught the art of saying no. He has a flip way of working. He has taught himself to say yes. And he said that I've been saying yes to things that I have no clue about.
And that is
And
exactly
I
what
said
happened.
yes. And then I go about wondering and figuring out how should I go about doing it, which is exactly what you have said.
What
earlier.
happened to
No
yes,
clue about when you said yes.
yes.
I guess these are the opportunities which open us towards a huge possibility which is sitting dormant within us, and we wouldn't have known about that. When you talk, it sounds more like a passion for you, and the passion which I think astrology ignited. And it's beautiful to understand how this passion is translating for you into a profession. How do you feel about that?
I am actually very surprised about how things are going. I'm awestruck every day, every new day that comes to me. I'm surprised with whatever is happening. Chemistry was my original passion, and I did PhD in nanotechnology chemistry. Chemistry was a passion at that time, and teaching chemistry was a passion, and I did that for many years.
Yeah.
And now suddenly that has become very small and it has been completely overtaken by this passion of original science. That as you are topic, as you said, science behind the science.
What I hear you say is that there is, I'm sensing a lot of passion inside you when you speak about the Vedic construct and the Vedic knowledge, the Sanatan science. And I realize that this passion has been ignited in you because of astrology. And very interesting to note over here that your passion is actually taking the shape of your profession. How do you feel with this way of working, the shape that it's taking for you?
Yes, so I would here say that my original passion was actually chemistry. Chemistry was my passion. Teaching chemistry was a passion. I was doing it and I have been lucky where I have had this opportunity to follow my passion.
Yeah.
Which originally it was teaching chemistry, but then when this new window was opened of Vedic sciences, so I got my passion was completely this science. The passion for chemistry became a very, very small thing, and this passion for the Vedic sciences became a huge thing for me. I was completely into this. And actually at that point I realized that this is the science before all sciences. Vedic sciences is the science before all present sciences, be it physics, be it chemistry, be it mathematics. That is I completely believe in this. And this is what I want to bring in front of the world. And I'm doing it in a very small way. At least I have about 100 students every semester that I teach. And I present this discussion, actually. It is kind of a discussion only before them. They can completely agree with me or they can disagree. It's up to them. But I have at least told them that it is like this. Out of 100 students, I have more than 60 students are believing that this is the science before all sciences. Like whatever I want to bring up, it is becoming meaningful. Actually, this course is becoming meaningful.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes.
Okay, what you're saying is right. You said that it is something very big. And I personally believe that whatever we are going towards or whatever our passion is has to be bigger. Somewhere it has to scare us also in a way.
It
It's
is, Nidhi, it is very, very, very big. It is huge. It is limitless. And we can, we cannot bring everything to the forefront. My only aim is to make everybody realize that just believe in one thing, that this is the science before all sciences. And when once you start believing in it, go and explore yourself, this huge world.
yeah.
At least I'm opening the window for you.
Yes.
That is the only thing that I'm doing.
Okay.
If you are, and if you get something out of it, be passionate about it and search for yourself, and you will get beautiful, beautiful answers. Amazing answers you will get. The main point that I have realized during this course is that if we are talking, all we are the latest that we are talking about with our students is innovation, entrepreneurship. These are the things that we want our children to do, our students to do, because because US has been doing that. They are at the forefront. We want our Indian students to be doing that. The research should be absolutely new.
Yeah.
So this is like opening the Pandora's box for you. Believe in it, go inside this, and your studies, our research is going to be full of innovation. It's going to be full of innovation. This is the key to it.
This is good Pandora's box.
Be it physics, be it physics, chemistry, or mathematics, be it astronomy, take any subject, be it social sciences also.
Yeah.
Everything you can be completely innovative, be it medical sciences, you can be innovators.
Agree.
Yeah, the time is every time I feel the time is so limited and there is so much to be told. I want to ignite that thing in you, that any topic under this world you think about, you'll get the answers there in your scriptures. Anything pertaining to any topic that we teach today. Yes.
Very beautiful. So then when we are speaking about the texts and our scriptures, what are the main texts? What are the main scriptures under the Vedic construct? I'd like you to talk to us about that a bit.
Here I can just give you an overview about what Vedic literature actually is. Nobody has the least idea of what Vedic literature is. Okay. Now, Vedic literature, first of all, I would like to use a technical word, Sanskrit word. I would use, for a Sanskrit word, I use this word technical, because Sanskrit is technology, actually. It's very scientific. So here, the word that I'm using here is aparishya. Aparishya. Our Vedic literature is aparishya, means aparishya, not created by man.
Okay.
Here lies a. It is flawless. Why is it flawless? Because it is not created by man. Okay. Just you need to believe in it. And it is like we say that we have a Ved Praman to it. Anything that we study beyond when we are studying, we say that everything has a Vedic Praman. Means we have a Vedic proof to it. But we are using this very strong word, proof, for our Vedas. Why? Because whatever we believe, that whatever has been written there is absolutely true, because it is not written by human beings. Then what is it actually? If it's not written by human beings, then what is it? What is it? Right. Basically, it was the beginning of this creation, you can say. At that time, when the world was created, knowledge was created. When world was created, knowledge was created simultaneously. At that time, maybe the people were more evolved as far as their brains were concerned. What happened was that there is another word that we use here, that is Ritambra Pragya. In our common language, you can say this was the intuitive power of our rishis. When they used to sit with closed eyes, brain signals may be matched with the signals of the knowledge that was present everywhere on the earth. Today also, if you talk about all the present inventions also, they have said the concept of gravity and everything that you could talk about, it just comes up that it was an idea that came up.
That's right.
So you can just say that idea. Very plain language, Ritambra Pragya is basically idea. Where do you get that? Idea is already present in the air. You just have to tune yourself to that. And our rishis could do that because they were more evolved. They used to get all that knowledge inside them. Okay, and then we had the Guru Shishya Parampara. The Guru, they had this knowledge and they were passing this knowledge to the students. And so this is how the knowledge was going from one generation to the other. But then we have to talk about from where did Vedas come. I would like to talk about Rishi Dwapayan here. So Rishi Dwapayan, what he was sitting once on the banks of the Saraswati River, okay, and he realized with his closed eyes, he was realizing that when we would enter Kali Yuga, people would be alp-ayu, means short-lived, and their brains would also be less, memory would be less. These are certain features of the people of Kali Yuga. In the coming generation, the people would be with a shorter lifespan and with shorter capabilities, lesser capabilities of the brain. Right. He realized that people would be really suffering. So knowledge is the only thing that can keep them out, that can actually bring them out of that suffering. Where is that knowledge but? How would they get that knowledge? And he was just pondering on this, and then Naradji came to him and he told him that you should actually compile all this knowledge for the people to come. And this is what Rishi Dwapayan did. He compiled all that knowledge that was already in his brain through Ritambara Pragya. Okay, so he compiled all this knowledge, and first it was compilation of this knowledge, and then it was also, classifying it. So the four Vedas were created. Okay, the Rig, the Yajur, Samved, and the Atharved. According now, these four Vedas are different according to the topics that they contain. Right. Like Rig Veda is basically when you are worshipping the cosmos and the nature. So it is all about nature, the cosmos, what nature is, what cosmos is. All the scientific principles are also coming inside. And because you are actually, when you learn it, when you know it, you are surprised. And then it comes up as a worship. Okay, Rig Veda is all about that. And then you have the Yajur Veda. It's about, again, nature and cosmos, and you are basically praising nature and cosmos. And then comes Samved. Samved is in the form of everything. The Samved is all about art form, because now everything has come up in the form of a song. Okay, so all form of art comes in Samved. And then comes Atharved. Atharved is basically how your society works. Okay, basically, like after knowing the cosmos, now with a very stable mind, Atharv means stable mind. So now we have a very stable mind, and you should be living in this society very smoothly. Okay, so all this is basically, all the knowledge was classified into four parts. And we had these four Vedas, which was compiled very beautifully by Rishi Dwapayan. And because of this great work that he did, he was called Rishi Vedvyas. After the Vedas, again, he was not satisfied. And he could not realize what was still missing. Again, Naraji came for his help. So what was his? He said, okay, you have done great work. Knowledge is very good. Everything has been written. Everything under this universe, everything about the earth, the cosmos, all the different worlds have been written. But what is missing? There is a big element that is missing. The joy is missing. What Naraji told him, that all this knowledge that has been created and written and compiled by you, it is hardcore science. It is very dry. People will not connect to it. Nobody's going to read it, whatever you've done. And he was like, I've done such great work. So what is missing? Emotional connect is missing. There is no emotional connect here. There is no love here. This has to be incorporated inside this knowledge. Wow. Then came the Puranas. We have 18 Puranas with us. Now, what are Puranas basically? These Purans, they basically are stories. Yes. Beautiful devotional stories. Okay, and in this, Rishi Vedvyasji has been very intelligent in doing this, because what he has done is that he has incorporated all those scientific principles. He has merged all the scientific principles into beautiful stories. Okay, now the stories, the common person is reading the story, and by default, he's getting connected to that scientific concept behind it. So the key point is that you may not be interested, you may not know the science behind it. Leave it to the learned people, leave it to the rishis, the science. Okay, at least you get connected to this, the power, the cosmos, the nature, God, the ultimate power, get connected there. And what helps a person to get connected is devotion. When you hear the story, devotion comes, you get connected. Not knowing is knowing, you may or may not knowing, but connection has to be there. So that connection was built in the form of beautiful stories. And the most important came up was the Bhagavad Puran. Okay, now the Bhagavad Puran has been specially created for the people of Kali Yuga. because here we have, it is all about stories about different forms of the god. Okay, and it is again a simple connect between nature, god, the supreme power, and the common man. It is just a connection, a beautiful devotional connection. And if you want to go into the science behind it, then you can pick up the Vedas. The four Vedas, that is hardcore science. A common person would not understand it. It is very, very difficult to understand it. If you just want to, and you can beautifully understand it if you read the stories, you get interested in the stories, go back, read the hardcore science. It is like this. So this is we have the four Vedas and we have the Purans. The four Vedas that we have, so I told you that this Vedic science, the four Vedas, very, very difficult to understand. You will just pick up one of the original Vedas, you will not be able to understand just one word of it. So in order to understand this difficult form of knowledge, you need some help. So that help has been given to you in the form of six Vedangs. You can call it Vedangs. Vedang. So Vedas are supposed to be the Ved Purush. The Ved Purush is assisted by six Vedangs, the six limbs of the Vedas. The first is the Shiksha. Basically, the Shiksha is talking about the phonetics, the sound. Then we have the Vyakaran, which is grammar. Then it is Nirukta. Nirukta is etymology. It is how the words have been formed, the origin of the words, basically a dictionary. Fourth, very important, is the Chand Shastra. Okay, now it is said that the whole of the Vedic knowledge, the deep knowledge, it has been hidden inside these chands. There is this whole Chand Shastra in which there are rules according to which you have to write different couplets. These are rules
Basically, the
about,
meter in the
yes, it is the length, it is the number of words that you can use, the amount, the length or the meter of the sentence that you can be formed. You have to use these rules while forming any sutras. Then you have the Jyotish Shastra. For sure, you need to know the position of the various planets, the stars, everything you need to know. Otherwise, you will not understand, because it is absolutely incorporated. The whole knowledge has been incorporated with the position of the stars and the planets. Then you have the Kalpa. Kalpa is also about science behind the rituals. You need to know these six Vedangs. After you understand, after you have the knowledge of this, then you go into Veda. So you can just imagine how difficult it is. It is not
and
easy.
very organized.
Very organized. First, you need to know all this, and then you can study the main Vedas. Now, other than that, beyond this comes our Smritis. Now, Smriti is like our modern PhDs. So what does a PhD student do? He takes up a topic, on that he studies his own research on that, 4-5 years of research, and he gives up whatever he knew that he came up with. This is PhD. Now, Smritis were exactly that. You can't, Vedas is the ultimate knowledge. So you pick up any topic from the Vedas, any topic that you know that you click with, pick up that part. This is what rishis have been doing. They have picked up topics and they have spent their lifetimes researching on that topic. Okay, lifetimes. So PhD was lifetime.
One of them would be, am I correct in saying that Maharishi Patanjali's Ashtang Yoga is a part of Smriti then?
Yes. Rishi Patanjali, he has spent his whole life studying on Ayurveda.
Dedicated to that.
Dedicated to that. So, and he has written his own Patanjali Yoga Sutras. That is his PhD work. That is his research work. That is his thesis. Smritis are PhDs done by our great rishis. Like, since I'm an astrologer, I would talk about Rishi Prashar, Rishi Jaimini.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what they have done, they have picked up the Jyotish Shastra. From Jyotish Shastra, they have written their own thesis. So these are our Smritis, yeah. So these are the Smritis.
Smriti.
Yes.
There is also this one word called Shruti.
Okay.
What is the
We have
difference?
absolutely missed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just realized that since we've missed it, this is the right point to bring that word in also, because the difference we need to appreciate and understand what these two are and how are they aligned. And
yes, sure. Shruti is a Purusha. Shruti is this that has not been created by a man. Shruti is something that has been heard, that has been realized. Ritambra Pragya. Through Ritambra Pragya, all knowledge that has been realized by our rishis, by their intuitive powers, that is Shruti. It is not man-made. It was there in space, and through space, it was in the brains of the rishis, and then came up in the form of Vedas. Since it is not written by man, it has only been realized. It is called Shruti. Now, from Shruti has come up Smriti. You study Shruti, put your own understanding into it, and then you write Smriti. It's going to be fair enough we call them modern PhDs.
There is no time that we can give to Shrutis. We cannot say when they started. Like you said, when universe began or when creation began, the knowledge was already present.
Yes,
And
yes,
this
yes.
is the knowledge which arrived by means of Shruti Vakyas, or Shruti, which enabled the intuitive powers within the rishis, and then they started to teach it further down to their students. Now, when we speak about teaching it further down to their students, there was nothing called written teaching. There was this oral tradition. What is this oral tradition, and how did they maintain or retain the knowledge as is when it was passed down the line? Because we've heard of Chinese whispers. However, the Chinese whispers has not happened in the
Yes.
oral tradition and oral passing it down. So what is your take on it?
Before the Vedas were actually compiled by Rishi Vedyas.
Yeah,
Before that, also it was a knowledge that was present in the brains of all the, all the Rishi Munis who
yeah.
were supposed to be learned people, and they used to teach it to the Shishyas. Here, I would like to just bring in that are the shloks. Shlok the Rishi would say, and it would be taught to the student at a very appropriate age that we call brahmacharya. At that time, all the students to learn all these shloks. And now there is something very particular about these shloks. The shloks, again, they are written according to some rules. The rules that have been specified in the Chandas Shastra. According to those rules, there had to be some specified words, number of words in the shloka, and the length of the shlok also was specified. So there are different types of shloks
Yeah.
according to the number of words and the length of the sentences. We have different types of shloks. And your information, whatever you want to teach, that should fit in that shlok, into the shlok. It should fit only if you meet those parameters, then that would be called a shlok. Now, the beauty about the shlok is once a shlok is created, it has that knowledge inside it. So the shlok, the rhythm of the shlok, they say that it matches the rhythm of our brain.
Okay.
Our brains can easily memorize these shloks.
Which are
And our
rhythmically.
memory retains these shloks. The proof for this is that you see our pandits when they perform the puja, a huge amount of Vedic mantras they are chanting.
Yes.
And they have memorized it. They never forget it.
Yes.
This knowledge, so they never forget it.
Yes.
So here our knowledge was compiled in such form that it had to be retained there in the brain. It should be ready to be used anywhere when you want that knowledge. It should not be in copy and pens. It should not be written in copies. Means when you need some kind of knowledge, you will go to that book, that chapter, that page. You will read from there, and then you will give the answer. No, it was not like that.
So
It
it's
had to be here. It had to be in the brain, exactly. So the shlokas were created in some way, in such a way that once it entered your brain, they used to stay there. This is the beauty of Shruti. So it is how now the guru is teaching those shlokas to the student. It is retained there. And this student, when he becomes a guru, he's teaching to his students. So this is how the flawless knowledge in the form of shlokas, it went down the generations. So this is the beauty of Shruti and the Guru Shishya Param.
When you're speaking about this oral tradition, you are constantly emphasizing the importance of repetition and memorizing. And we've seen in some serials or in some ways where the gurukuls have been represented, that the students are sitting and they have a certain way of making some actions while they are, I think it goes along with the chand.
Maybe, yes. It is that rhythm. Maybe they're talking about the rhythm. You can also do a little research here. This also goes into that system of that you can talk about the long and the short notes, which in Sanskrit called the Laghu and the Guru, the Laghu and the Guru. So the Shastra, it absolutely says that how many Laghu notes and how many Guru notes you're going to have that. So it is basically coding and decoding also here. It also goes
And the
back. These
mandate
are
of
the, these are,
1010, the computer.
yes, this is again, this is the roots to the binary system also.
Fantastic. Basically, they would have understood the human system itself to be a supercomputer.
Yes.
How we are able to codify a computer, they were able to codify human beings.
Knowledge was put inside us in the form of codes, you can say.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes, in
That's
the
how
form.
coded language. So when you're saying it had to follow and fit into a certain rule, that's the code. And
Yes,
that's
yes.
how memory. Another thing I'm hearing you say is repetition. We hear a phrase, often hear a phrase in today's times is repetition is the mother of mastery. Even if we were to remember the way we used to recite our tables, the mathematical tables in the earlier classes, still remember those tables.
Yes,
A
yes,
script starts to run
repetition.
in our head.
Yes, yes, yes,
We
yes,
don't have
yes.
to get down to a calculation. Maybe we have to get down to a calculator to do a bigger calculation. But
Here is the importance of memory.
exactly,
Importance of memory.
already ready.
Memory, everything that is there in your brain, you will get it. Whenever you need it, you will get it. Chandra's Shastras that was created was specifically for that.
Wow.
That it has to, all knowledge needs to be memorized and it should stay in the brain forever. Only then it's going to be passed on. Okay, and it is only when Rishi Vedvyasji, he realized that people of Kali Yuga, they would not have such long lifespans, they would have Alpayu, Alpa Buddhi. So then he realized now it is a time that it should be penned down also. It should be written. It should be compiled for the future generations. That was the main purpose. Okay, so Shruti became Smriti.
What are the
Yes.
Upanishads?
After when we talk about the Vedas, we have the Vedangas that are the helping hands, and then we have the Upvedas. Upvedas are the texts that have come out from the different types of Vedas. Different texts, they evolved, they came out from the Vedas. Okay. And Upanishads is one of those forms of the text. Basically, Upanishads can be called the Vedantas. Vedant means basically all different types of the Upanishads, they summarize the whole concept of Vedas. Wow. Different parts of the Vedas. So Upanishads, they are the nectar.
So essentially, a Veda may have multiple number of Upanishads.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. You said 18 Puran, 4 Vedas. How many Upanishads?
Number of Upanishads, there is different thought about all this. Like some say that it is 108, some says that there are more than that. So different philosophers, they have different take on this. Number of Upanishads is variable. We cannot say with certainty how many of them are. But one thing is certain that they are Vedant, means they are a summarized form of the Vedas. So every Upanishad has a topic to discuss. It gives you the main essence of that topic.
Adi Guru Shankaracharya. I think the whole credit of this entire knowledge that has come to us goes to him, because to my understanding, what has been written before him is not available in terms of evidences. The Vedas also that we are reading today, thanks to his commentary, it's important to be a part in this chain. We don't know where the chain goes on. And thanks to all of this, I think we've become students all over again.
One person can't even know about the whole knowledge. That is why there were Smritis written on different topics.
And will
Okay.
continue to be.
Yes,
So
yes.
Smriti, Mahabharata and Ramayana are also
These are
Smritis.
no. This is a separate part that is itihas. The word itihas means this is how it happened.
So history.
We have two historical texts with us, that is the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Itihas is absolutely different. And many stories from the Ramayana and Mahabharata have been put into Puranas also. Rishi Vedvyasji was writing about the present, the past, present, and the future. He was writing about the future also, he was writing about the present also, and the past also.
The world has begun awakening to it already. I believe there are a whole lot of courses which are running in foreign universities on Vedas and on Sanskrit.
Yes, yes.
To read, there is research happening in NASA itself around our Vedic literatures. It's about time to jump into the bus rather than.
Yes, Nidhi, see, as you're speaking, there's so many topics coming up into our mind, but I think we should, I think, break up this whole conversation into parts. Only then we'll be able to do justice to everything.
Yeah.
So like every topic needs, like the thing that you were saying that about what came to my mind was the concept of aphorism. Aphorism is basically a concept that is about Sanskrit. संस्कृत में क्या है कि very big knowledge, huge amount of knowledge is said into lines. 2 lines means aphorism is cut it short, put it very very short. अल्प 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 कर दो उसको, छोटा 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 कर
इतना
दो.
छोटा हो चुका है.
हाँ.
We say that our attention is as long as the flick of the thumb, because that's how we scroll our devices.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
when you're talking about bringing in, making it shorter, it makes so much of sense. आजकल का जमाना जो reels वाला है, where you know our attention can catch on to anything which is really small and tiny.
You can say our chip, the computer chips and all.
Again,
So much of information on a small thing.
On a
It is
small.
like that. It is our Sanskrit texts are like that.
Mm-hmm.
In those 2 lines, on those 2 lines, that will be called shloka or a sutra. Okay. In those on those 2 lines, you can write a whole PhD thesis. So that is the amount of knowledge that is present in 2 lines. Okay, so that is why it is called, this is the concept of aphorism. All our texts, all our Vedic texts, they have compiled, they have put together a whole amount of the knowledge of the universe in the form of these small 2-line sutras or shlokas.
So let's come back to Sanskrit later, because
Yes.
I think you're opening it up towards what you're saying is there's a lot that we need to understand from Sanskrit or under the umbrella of Sanskrit as well.
So what I can summarize here, that we have basically the 4 Vedas that were compiled by Rishi Ved Vyasji. And to understand those 4 Vedas, we have the 6 limbs of the Vedas, the Ved Angs. Okay, and from each Veda has come up different texts which are called the Upvedas. Texts that have come out from the Vedas are basically the basic texts are the Upvedas. Other than that, the rishis have studied these Vedas and they have come up with their own knowledge, own thesis, which are called the Smritis. So the whole Vedas is called the Shruti. And from understanding the Shruti, after understanding the Shruti, there have been texts which have been written, which are called the Smritis. Other than Shruti and Smriti, we have Itihas, Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Up till the Vedas, it's dry knowledge. To put some sweetness into that knowledge, we have come up with Purans. Purans will incorporate that whole knowledge in the form of beautiful devotional stories. The knowledge is again the same. From Vedas, then we have the Purans. Vedic literature in itself is endless.
On this note, Monica, thank you so much. We're going to come back again to all our viewers who are watching and the ones who are listening in. We will come back and continue this series for some time so that we are able to bring this knowledge to you, or at least get this awareness kicking in where you can start to research on your own. The idea is to become researchers. The idea is to become lifelong students. And just the way we found this passion, and we are connecting over this common passion that she and I both have, about the knowledge which is contained in the great Indian knowledge system, how much we can go into which all directions. So the next episode that we will come up with for you is Sanskrit and the knowledge contained therein. And on that note, thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for being with us, and do subscribe and like this channel so that you can get alerts as and when we put up the content next. So stay tuned, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Thank you so much bringing me on this platform, and we are giving in such beautiful knowledge, being able to give such important knowledge to our viewers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.